Now, in following in quick time from our first guest this morning, Greg O'Rourke, I have with me again on the phone Mike Young, who was one of the two gentlemen that I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and they were about to participate in the Hawaiian Ride for Youth, and part of a group of 200 plus cyclists and 50 support crew going, I think it was on 4 different paths from Albany to Perth to raise money for Youth Focus. Now, Youth Focus is a not-for-profit organisation that delivers innovative and accessible health services and programs across Western Australia, and they help at-risk young people aged 12 to 25 lead full and healthy lives. And I can hear him in the background there, heavy breathing and all. G'day, Mikey, how are you?
Good, Pete. Sorry about the heavy breathing.
You're only human. It's okay. No. How are you? How'd you go on the ride?
Good. Yeah, we went really well. We unfortunately had one of the riders came down and broke his collarbone, but other than that, it was very successful and we raised lots of money. So that was the whole point.
Now, I think before the event, the target was $2 million. What did you finally end up hitting?
2,975,000 at the moment. So if anybody's out there at 25,000, they can tip it up to 3.
Wow, that's amazing. Over 2.9, nearly $3 million just from that event.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of work goes into the fundraising, obviously.
Absolutely.
It basically it's a 9-month process, but yeah, all the riders are chuffed about the final amount.
That would crank up over the 20 years, because this was the 20th year of Ride for Youth, wasn't it? That would be coming up on $29 or $30 million over that time. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's close to 28 or 29. Yeah, it's a pretty significant part of Youth Focus's revenue.
Yeah. So how was the ride? Was the weather good? Was the wind at your back? How did you go?
Yeah, a bit drizzly day one, 140 Ks from Albany to Noangarup. So as we get over the Stirling Ranges, it cleared up. And then when we got north of there, it was pretty sunny most days, got quite warm. And then coming into Mandurah from Narrogin, 180K day, that was 180 kilometres on day 4.
That's a long day in the saddle.
Yeah, big day for a lot of riders. Most people hadn't done a distance like that before. It started to rain in Mandurah, but, the forecast was for torrential rain, and we dodged it. We dodged a lot of rain and a bit of drizzle when we arrived at UWA, which was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's an emotional arrival at UWA for a lot of riders who've only done it a few times. You come in, the Scotch band is playing bagpipes, all your friends and family are there with saying well done, and it's really emotional for a lot of the riders. It was for me when I first did it. I'm getting used to it now, but still a great day. So we're all very proud of what we've done.
That's amazing. That would be a great feeling. Just peddling in the relief, the emotion that would be involved there. I don't know that I'd be hearing the bagpipes. I'd be hearing the triumphant theme from Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like that.
Rocky, something like that.
I have the Tiger. Yeah.
I think you're playing Scotland the Brave.
Oh,
which is
right.
Kind of appropriate.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And you say there was one casualty with a broken collarbone. That's unfortunate. I hope they're on the mend. Now this year, in previous years, you have stopovers. Hang on, we've got a bit of background noise there.
Sorry, it's the police. I'm in the city. Not after me. No, they're past now.
Oh, so they didn't see you. That's lucky.
No. So I should pay my parking fines.
No. So you mentioned that in previous years, groups will stop over at schools and communities, and people will share their experiences and talk and get people to reach out and share. But this year, because of COVID, there were recorded messages and things like that. So did I imagine they would still be very well received. And how did everything else go? Was there other interaction, or how were your stopovers?
I can't speak to the other 3 pelotons, but on our peloton, we had some ad hoc interaction with the local communities. So in one community, I myself, I went to a deli to get some choc milk because it's my go-to recovery drink.
Absolutely.
And the lady said, "Have you been riding?" And I said, "I have." And I explained to her I was doing Ride for Youth and Youth Focus and what Youth Focus did. And she got very quiet and started to sob. And I asked her what was wrong.
Really?
And she said that she had a 12-year-old that was really struggling and she didn't know where to turn to. And so what I did was I phoned Youth Focus and found out what she should do and then gave her those details so that she could ring Youth Focus. They have a very a process that they use for exactly this case. And I hope that she did follow it up. But she was really, really, really thankful to me for listening and providing her this information. And I told that story at dinner that night. And, you know, the thing is, we go through these small towns specifically for the reason to raise awareness, and so much more work needs to be done. And, you know, it's one of the things that the government, you know, everybody wants the government to fix all problems, but gee, you know, looking after the youth has got to be one of the highest priorities because they're the next generation. And, you know, it doesn't cost a lot to provide counselors to these kids, and all they need is a trusted adult to speak to. So it was a really poignant moment for me personally and for Youth Focus. And I'm really glad I had that interaction. And if we can do, you know, one good deed on the whole ride and save one person, then, you know, it's all worth it.
That's really interesting because I remember the discussion with you and Cameron on the day we recorded our first interview. And part of what we were talking about was, I guess, reaching out and having that first conversation and how critical it is. And you've just given us a real life, raw example of how that happened and how simply it happens. It's this ad hoc just experience that occurs, and it could change your life.
Well, it could, and I think it has. You know, so this lady certainly was looking for help, and she was, you know, like I say, she was very appreciative, and that's the response we get in all the schools as well. You know, so it's a really important thing that we do, and we'll continue to do. So, you know, I've signed up for the ride already for next year, and you know, I'll do it again. I'm just really proud of what we do.
No, that's amazing. So I guess just to close the loop here, all but one rider made it. So 200 plus riders made it through 4 different pelotons and 4 different paths. 2.974, I think you said 2.97 million. 2.75. Sorry, 2.75.
No, 2.975.
Yeah, I've got my numbers right. I ran out of fingers and toes. That was my problem. So nearly $3 million. That is just amazing. And look, my congratulations to everybody on the ride and all the support crew and all the family and everybody who contributed. That is an amazing result to help our young people who might be struggling, or their families or people who care about them. So, look, great today, to catch up.
On a personal note, Pete.
Yeah.
On a personal note, I need to thank you. A lot of your listeners won't know we're neighbors, so you've had to put up with the gate rolling open at 10 past 5, 3 mornings a week, and you know, sometimes it makes a bit of noise.
You're my alarm clock, Mikey.
That's right.
I mean that in the nicest possible way. Yeah.
No, I know. But anyway, thanks for your support too. You've been very supportive, and hopefully we'll do a bit more with the radio station next year in Youth Focus. I think there's huge opportunities for us to work together.
We would love that, and we can, like we often do, we should talk about it on the front verge over a gin and tonic. So.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's a good way to deal with it. Now, Mike, you and Cameron faced off last time over whose song got played, and you missed out. So I've actually got one of your selections here, Jimmy Buffett and Southern Cross, lined up for you, ready to throw over to, and lead in. So I'll say thanks again for catching up today and letting everybody know and all our listeners know how everyone went on the ride for the Hawaiian Ride for Youth, as I should call it, and the funds raised for Youth Focus. And congratulations and great talking with you. Now, if you want to introduce your mate Jimmy Buffett, take it away.
This is Jimmy Buffett from the album Live in Anguilla, Southern Cross on Pete Dibel's radio show.
Thanks, Mikey. See you, mate.